Good day, good day, good day. The NBA is back. I repeat, the NBA is back. This is Christmas before Christmas. This is a joy to whoever's listening. Let the church say amen. Since watching that, um, I gotta admit, the bubble was not exciting. It wasn't the basketball I know. And yes, the Lakers won the championship, and that's great. And shout out to Laker Nation, but it wasn't the same. But the real deal basketball, and I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care if it's an exhibition. I'm just glad that there's NBA. We got Corrupt in the building, no relation. He said, "What up, DJ? What up, Corrupt? Blessings to you, my brother, and I hope you're having a great day today." So today, the games are the Magic versus the Atlanta Hawks at, well, everything is Central Pacific time right here. So there may be different time zones, but Pacific time, 4 p.m. is the Magic versus Hawks. Knicks versus Pistons at 4 Pacific. Rockets versus Bulls at 5 p.m. Pacific. Clippers versus Lakers at 7 p.m. Pacific. And I expect both Lakers and Clippers star players to sit. I do not expect them to play that much in the preseason. They were just in the bubble. So you already know that it's not going to be a lot of, effort with the starters. It'll be a dress rehearsal. They'll take as much minutes as possible, especially if you're a below 500 team. Expect the Pistons and Knicks to use their starters and second string more in these the two first preseason games. And I think the last roster spots, third stringers will be playing more of the third and fourth game. That's just my opinion. Then lastly, Pacific time, by the way, Kings versus Trailblazers at 7:30. So those are your games for today. You know the talk's going to be LiAngelo. Is he going to play today? Is he not? If I was the Pistons, at least get him in at 5 minutes. You know, get a quick viewership money right there. And here's the thing about the Pistons. They got the bag right there with LiAngelo. They could play him 5 minutes, and ratings are going to go off the roof. That's how much clout he has. And I think a lot of people underestimated LiAngelo Ball. They didn't think LiAngelo would have this much fandom. You thought LaMelo had fans, and he does. But LiAngelo is the underdog of the family. He's the one that fans alike root for. He's the middle child. We can all relate to LiAngelo. So I'm excited. I hope he plays, but if he doesn't, it is what it is. And that would tell me more that I was right. He probably won't make the team. Here's how you could tell LiAngelo will probably make the team. If he plays at least 15 minutes each game or more. LiAngelo Ball needs to play 15 minutes or more, or just 15 minutes, at least 15 minutes to show that he'll be on that roster. If he can't get minutes on a preseason game, that will tell you enough that he won't be on the active roster. And I sent a link to anyone who wants to join the chat. No, don't be scared. Just join the chat, speak your mind. On this platform, I let everyone have a voice as long as you're not being belligerent. Everyone can have a voice. But I want to know what you think about today's preseason games, what matchups you're looking for. And I know it's preseason, but I'm just glad to see some type of basketball. Anything that's, you know, anything to take my eyes off of what's going on in the world is a plus for me. I can say this for the Orlando Magic. I want to see how Cole Anthony does. I want to see what rotations he'll be in. The Magic have a very underrated team. They're very long. They got a bunch of athletes. They got Aaron Gordon. Terrence Ross is a shooter. They got Vucevic, who is a big man, could space out and very tough. They got Mo Bamba, who's underrated. And the reason why he's not getting that much playing time is because he's backing up Vucevic. But I truly believe Mo Bamba has a ton of potential. As you know, Jonathan Isaac is injured, so you won't see him all year. Markelle Fultz has improved drastically. So it's going to be an interesting preseason for the Orlando Magic. I still want to see their identity, what type of team they'll be. And I know that Cole Anthony has some fans, but if they think he's going to be starting, I just don't see it for this year. Speaking of Cole Anthony, what kind of number is 50? I'm like, all the numbers this brother can use, and he chooses 50. I'm not hating on the brother. I'm just like, dang, could have choose a better number than that. And then the Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks is literally everyone's sleeper to make the playoffs. Um, their roster is pretty much loaded. They have a lot of shooters, a lot of versatile bigs. They drafted Onyeka Okongwu from UCLA, LaMelo's teammate. He just came off of, I think it's like a toe injury. And I think he's been practicing lately, so that's a good sign. They have Cam Reddish, a player that I wish the Pelicans would have drafted. They have Rondo, who can be uh, a leader to that team, a mentor to Trae Young. Once Trae Young realizes that he doesn't have to, score all the time, you could score. The thing about point guard, to be elite, you got to be balanced. You got to mix scoring with passing, with playmaking. And yes, he has a lot of assist stats, but he needs to have what you call the hockey assists, the assists before the assist. So let's say he has a man trailing, right? He's going to get cut off, but he sees one man open for the three. He passes it to the three. The three-point shooter is closed off. He passes it to an open postman. That's a hockey assist. That's what Trae Young's got to establish. People got to realize just because you put a lot of assist numbers doesn't mean you're an excellent passer. It's all about precision and next level play after. So if you can see the play ahead, you may not get the assist stat, but what you do is you put more points on the board and you keep a defense confused. That's what Trae Young got to do, especially got to play defense. You can't be a good guard in the league, at least try. Now, we know a lot of NBA players do not play defense anymore like they used to. We got Wallet in the building. He said, DJ, my man. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for joining the show, doing this NBA talk. You know what's funny about live stream? Titles are everything. With a title, if I would have put, let me give you an example. If I would have put LiAngelo Ball debut or something like that, I would have probably had, 100 plus in the chat right now. But all I did was a simple title. NBA is back. Oh, we got True the King in the building, man. What up, True the King? What's good, my brother? Got True the King in the building. Hey, True the King, you still there? Oh, he ain't there yet. But if you guys are interested in joining the chat, let me know. I put the link already out there. I'll do it again. But one team that I'm interested in watching is the Brooklyn Nets. I want to see how that team is going to be. I think they have a lot of depth, but it all depends on what Kyrie is mentally, if he's mentally prepared for the grind of the NBA. Yo, True the King, you there? True the King, you there? That's weird. But yeah, I can't wait to see Kevin Durant. I want to see him at least 85, 90%. Kevin Durant at 80% is still lethal. That's still a mid 20 plus score. He's 7 foot with a dangerous jumper, the killer handle at that size. A couple of practice footages from KD, and I was just blown away to how much he's progressed. Corrupt says, we got to support you, DJ. I'm trying to see you go big with this YouTube shit. Yeah, thank you for the support, brother. What you all got to do is share the content, like, tell a friend or anybody that loves sports um, to attend my lives, to get this hoop talk that we got going on. Also, uh, super chat, show a brother some love. Keep this thing going so I can do these lives every day. I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel. This is not possible without everyone who has really took the time to listen to. It's like a family to me. This is like a YouTube family, and I support everyone who supports me. Uh-oh, we got Orlando Magic Nation in the building. What's good, my brother? Oh, you ain't ready yet, huh? Got True the King. What's up, True the King?
Man,
Hello.
we back.
What's up, man? We got Orlando Magic in the building, True the King in the building. What y'all think about today's preseason games?
Well, I'm just curious. What
I'm
about
excited.
Magic?
I'm gonna start with you, True the King. What you said, bro? All right, I'll go. Hey, Orlando Magic Nation.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Make sure the background music is off.
All right.
It'll mess up my channel.
All right. I'm gonna turn it off. Do you hear it now?
So, yeah, I hear you. How do you think your Orlando Magic gonna do today?
I think we'll lose the first game to the Hawks today because the Hawks got a great offseason. Officially they got Rajon Rondo, they got Bogdanovich, they got a lot of good players, those talented young players, and I think we're not gonna do good in our first game as always. I don't believe in my magic, but I think we'll get one against him, and I think we'll get split against the Hawks.
Okay. Man, Orlando Magic Nation, how old are you, man?
I am 15 years old.
Man, you a youngster, brother. Man, you better not be cussing, I tell you.
No, I don't cuss, man. I don't cuss.
We
I
ain't
don't cuss
taking
on
no cuss.
people's channel, but I do on my channel, but I don't cuss on people's channel.
All right, if you hear any vulgar language, cover your ears.
You can't mess up people's channel, no.
But I'm gonna mute you real quick. I'm gonna let these other brothers speak. Is that okay, brother?
Yep.
All right, man. You still on the chat? What's up, True the King?
Yeah, what up, DJ, man?
Man, we talking about these NBA hoops, brother. Man, preseason. I know it's preseason, but I want to see the ball.
Right. I just see that this young talent, this chemistry. That's what I mean. For preseason for, you know what I mean. I don't really like. I don't have real high on preseason like that, but you know what I mean. It just, you know what I mean. I don't know. Just see like I'm just interested in seeing young players and breakout stars. You know what I mean. Especially Detroit. I am kind of excited with what Detroit going to do. How they going to run their offense because they got veterans. And
Mm-hmm.
he got a lot of young talent on there. You know what I mean? Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose. You got Killian Hayes, Leandro Ball. What's the white dude name?
Sweet McCollum, the
Yeah,
shooter.
he, the 6'7" dude, small. Yeah, he official. Um,
Uh-huh.
he may say he going that. Like I said, Detroit may surprise people this year. Also, man, they may can somehow fight for a playoff push somehow. You know what I mean? Not saying they're gonna make the playoffs, but they may make it interesting. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. They got veterans. The roster is a lot better. We got DZ King. DZ King is in the building.
Hey,
What's good, my guy?
what's good, DJ? Hey,
All,
man.
all praise to the Most High, my
I
brother.
appreciate most time, man. Yo, man. I'm so excited about this NBA season, man. It's about to go in, man. Thank goodness, man. It's already started. It's gonna start today. I mean, I'm really excited about it. Honestly, like I think it was overdue, So thank goodness it's about to start, So I'm looking forward to the games today, honestly. See how it goes. I mean, a lot of these teams have some new rosters here, man. So I'm excited about that.
For sure, man. I see CA3 in the building. What's good, CA3 Sports Talk? Subscribe to his channel. We'll be talking about the Detroit
Yeah,
Lions,
what up? Yeah,
Pistons.
what up, CA3?
Yeah, True the King know him. On Lamont's channel. Uh, Blue Bow says Suns might be a top 5 team. I can definitely see that. I can see it. Chris Paul makes a difference, man.
Definitely.
Let's see. Orlando Magic got to get one more piece. I definitely agree with that part. They're missing one go-to scorer. That's what the Orlando Magic is missing. They're missing that dog, man. Like the game is close. He could get you a bucket.
Yeah, they missing one more. I don't know. I mean, beyond, I don't know if they missing one. I feel they need to like do a semi type of rebuild. I mean, they
Hmm.
don't got to give everybody away. I mean, John the Ozzy got hurt. I mean, I'm just saying like the core they have is not working. Aaron Gore and Voracek and Fournier, they've been that core of that Atlanta team for a while now, and I mean, I don't think you can win with like them three being your core. So I don't know. I could be wrong though. I mean,
Man, you're right, man. They haven't that same core that you talked about haven't really accomplished that much.
yeah.
And
Two or one of them got to go.
Vucevic got to go. I'm gonna tell you why. Mo Bamba, he has a skill to be a very talented player. They drafted him 6 overall in 2018, I believe.
Right.
He has a skill to be really good. The difference is Vucevic is starting ahead of him, and he's not able to,
Yeah.
blossom. We got
Yeah.
a
I mean,
super.
but yeah, definitely.
Oh, what you gonna say, bro?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I mean, but that's just the question of like, is he like, what they going to do in the future? Like, can they draft him more? Like, why are you drafting him if you're not going to try to like? I don't know, but I mean, maybe he ain't necessarily ready yet. But I mean, this is the year. I mean, if it's the year them to have to step up, it's this year. So I
Well, I'm
mean,
gonna tell you why. Steve Clifford is known for not playing too many young guys.
right,
He's a coach that loves veterans. And before I go on, shout out to Corrupt. He says, I don't got a lot, DJ. This channel is good. I see the potential. Keep grinding. Man, I don't care if it's 50 cents. I don't care if it's a penny. You show that you give to this channel like you do for Netflix, uh, Hulu or any other site. That shows you support independent YouTubers. And thank you, brother. Thank you for supporting the channel. We got Carl, we got Carl Alexander in the building, man. He's muted right now. But yeah, coaches like Steve Clifford, they never let young players blossom.
right.
What's up?
That's yeah.
It's CA3. What's up, man?
What
Oh,
up,
what's up,
C3?
brother?
What's
I
good?
didn't know your name was. I didn't know your name was called, man.
Yeah, bro, it's in my bio on my Instagram, bro. You can tell. But anyway,
Oh, I don't. I didn't pay attention. Okay.
yeah, but I'm excited for this season though, man. Like, I'm very excited. You know that everybody's healthy this year. Mostly every superstar is healthy this year, man. So we get to see, a really a true season, of all the teams, that fully healthy. That's great to see. I'm very excited
Right.
for this season. Hopefully, unfortunately, it's doing some bad times, so we may get some cancellations here and there, but it's still nice to see some basketball. Even though there's some uncertainty. Um,
Right.
but today I'm really excited to see the Pistons. I want to see how Killian Hayes is going to thrive. Dwayne Casey has raved about him, saying he's not your average rookie. So I want to, I'm, and the Langelo Ball, he's that they kind of been hiding tape from him. So we'll be able to see him today. So we'll see. Yeah.
Here's what I said about LiAngelo.
Yeah.
For him to make the active roster, I think he needs to play at least 10 to 15 minutes in the preseason. It will show that he's going to be a part of the roster. If he
Yeah.
doesn't, then I don't think he'll make the active roster. My opinion on the situation.
Yeah.
You don't
It's gonna be
like you
tough
get like
though.
a two-way contract. I mean, he may get a two. I think like the worst situation, you get like a two-way contract.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll get a two-way though. I think so. It's gonna be tough to make the active roster though. There's so many players on the team.
And I was
Yeah.
telling people that in my video 2 days ago. The Pistons roster is so advanced now, it's revamped. There's a lot of dogs, and I don't think
Yeah.
the average fan realizes that. They look at last year's Pistons roster and they think that this roster this year is going to be Jello make
It's
the
not gonna be
team.
the same.
It's
And
a
the big reason
versatile.
why the Pistons record looked so bad last year because really like because Andre Drummond got traded in the middle of the season and really outside of Andre Drummond our two best players outside of Andre Drummond was Blake Griffin and Luke Kennard and they hardly played so it's kind of hard to judge the record off of that.
Yeah.
So
And that's a versatile. That's a versatile team too. They got multiple people on that team can play multiple positions. So, I
yeah.
mean, I was because I forgot what Piston players said, and they trying out different lineups and stuff like that, like different like putting people in certain positions. So, I
Yeah.
mean, how many games you think the Pistons gonna win? C3 this season.
They got 72 total games.
That's what I was wondering. Like, how many games they gonna win this year?
Man,
Cause I think I mean maybe if they don't make the play, I think they still gonna be
I,
somewhat
I
like
feel like
they
I
gonna be
feel like on the
competitive.
best possible. I should say I feel like the best possibility is probably like I would say like about 40 to high 30s. I feel like they could do that on a very good season, or I could see them winning. Like I would say like a below average season. I would say about 30, low 30s, because I think they
Y'all can
have
make the y'all can
I
make
think they have a
y'all can
good
probably
squad.
play
I think
off.
they have a
Yeah,
solid squad. Really, I really do.
yeah.
And if Killian Hayes is what he's
I'm
advertised to be,
right.
they should have a solid season.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Grant going to do. That's the person on that roster. Like
Yeah,
I'm the most excited on that. I want Grant, Killian Hayes, Langelo. Um, so I can't pronounce that dude name, man. The
Yeah.
white dude.
you talking about C.
The,
Mikhailuk?
Yeah,
yeah,
Mikhail.
McCauley. Yeah, he. I'm curious what he's going to do. They got a lot of nice pieces. And Dwayne Casey know how to develop young talent. So he's a great coach, one of the best coaches in the league. So
Thanks.
Markel Fultz might be most improved. It's like he gonna have a lot of competition.
Oh yeah. And I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of Lonzo Ball, but he could win it. But the team has to have a good winning record for Lonzo Ball to win Most Improved. Plus the stats got to be up.
It's a lot of young players that
Yeah.
may have bigger roles this season.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I think for Lonzo to win the most improved player for this year, like he will have to like be consistent with his consistent with his performance on all the games this year. Like we shouldn't be waiting until the second half of the season where he can he can give a great performance on each game. I think it has to be more consistent. I wouldn't mind maybe one or two games where he doesn't put he doesn't have like a crazy performance, but it has to be consistent this year for him to even make it in that conversation. Because if we get the same year that he had last year, it's going to be a disappointing year. So I think with the off season that he's had, over over the last few months, in conjunction with the fact that he wasn't injured and he's coming in healthy, there'll be big expectations for Lonzo. I mean, you guys like Damian Lillard that said that he expects him to be most improved player for this season. So I mean, there's a lot of expectations for him, and he's just got to show up and just be the player that we know who he can be. From UCLA and Chino Hills, we know he can be that player. He just got to be consistent in each game.
Thanks.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a
What
contract
about
year too.
Mhm.
yeah? What about Michael Porter Jr. though? I think he could win that.
He
Good.
definitely could win it. Definitely could win it. It's a lot of people, man. A lot of people could win that award.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot. I see a lot of like I seen the Celtics. They talking about Grant Williams may start beginning of the season. So that shows a lot. So there's a lot of young players. I mean, who else? Like Jeremy Grant could win the most improved player. I mean, if he has a borderline All Star year, he could win. He could be more. It's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
I can see him. I can see that if he improves his scoring. I think he's an
Um,
underrated scorer.
Caruso. I mean, maybe I don't know. Throw a name out Caruso. Maybe I don't know. It's a
It's gonna be
lot of
hard for.
people.
I wouldn't say Caruso though, because they got so many players on that team. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. I mean, if he, I don't know. It depends on like if he's like one of the best 6 minutes in the game. Then I don't know. It's a lot of people like that can get that award. And sometimes I mean, and you don't. And that award is so unpredictable. You really can't even bet on that. Like you can't. That's probably the hardest award to kind of like to project somebody winning.
Yeah.
Probably in the NBA.
Yep. I
You're
mean,
right, Shooter King, man. Because let's say Cam Reddish starter, right, and he
uh,
just blossoms, and we know Cam Reddish has that potential. Like you said, Shooter
yep.
King, there's a lot of players who can pop off. That's why it's so hard to predict who
Yeah.
can win.
Look at Brandon Ingram. This, last year, like nobody really saw him winning the most improved. Nobody picked him. Like
Yeah,
he
he
came out
wasn't
of
like
nowhere.
he improved. Like he improved, but it was like well, people say, well, you could have gave it to Luca, because like fact that his first year and his second year was like it's
Nah,
kind of like it's totally different.
I wouldn't give it to Luca though. I mean, like
Yeah, I
Brandon
agree
Ingram,
with you,
like
but with people making cases, it's like it's a weird award. It's kind of weird, like how to like we don't know how really how to project it. It's really like what's your pick, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like they did Devontae Graham wrong too by not making him a
Yeah,
kicker. They did him
yeah.
wrong. Like,
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's weird sometimes. Like it's like it depends on I guess the circumstances, whatever. I don't know. Like who
Yeah,
y'all
I
got
mean,
winning the East? Well, you know how I feel about that. I mean, I mean, I may be a little bit biased, but I mean, yeah, I gotta go with Boston, man. I gotta go with Boston with that one.
nah, bro. Honestly think Milwaukee's gonna win the East. Honestly,
It's gonna be tough though. Either way, it's gonna be tough. It ain't gonna be easy in the East. It's not gonna be easy at all. They really gotta like fight. Like if I see like a team in the East like dominate in the Eastern Conference, I mean that's gonna be like whoever come out the West gonna be in trouble because the East is gonna be very very competitive.
It's going to be the best Eastern Conference in years. It's not even close. Very tough. Philly's going to be better. You got a lot of teams improving their rosters in the East. No one's talking about it because the West is so talented. The East is not too far behind.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
want to
think the
go.
East gonna be better than the West. I think the East gonna be better than the West next year.
Oh,
Yeah, we had a debate about that a couple days
that's a hot
ago.
take right there, brother.
It may sound kind of crazy, but if you really
but
look at like
yeah,
just at the young like
yeah,
you really have like the only team really though like you really got like not respect as a team. Like come on, we play the Knicks like Eastern Conference. Oh, we gonna play the Knicks tonight, man. We don't gotta worry about it. Like you know what I mean? You can do anything. You know what I mean? Like they ain't a team to worry about. Like who like.
I
But
would like.
everybody else in the Eastern Conference, for the most part, you really got to worry. Oh man, you gotta see this person. You gotta see this person. Like for say Detroit. Okay, Detroit didn't make the playoff, but okay, a healthy Detroit team is still. You got Blake
you
Griffin,
still
you
gotta
got
see Blake
Jeremy
Griffin
Grant,
and Derrick
Derrick
Rose.
Rose,
Yeah,
Killian Hayes. If Killian Hayes plays good, like whatever, you like it's. Then you got Atlanta. You got Atlanta. You got Charlotte. Like
Yeah,
these teams may not make the playoffs, but still,
and
these are
you
teams
got
that's going. You
Indiana
going to
too.
compete. Yeah,
yeah,
you got to compete with.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's basically everybody. Like,
yeah,
I mean, same thing with the West. You can say the same thing exactly with the West. So that's why it's debatable. I'm not
yeah.
gonna say it's gonna be hands down or wherever. I could be wrong,
I
yeah,
but in
feel
my
like
opinion,
yeah.
the East has a little more depth though, like at the bottom this
Mm-hmm.
year.
right,
Yeah,
Yeah, true. The King definitely brought up a great point because I think the East is definitely has gone like better in years. Like they got, I mean, you got Washington right there with Westbrook and Bradley Beal, and you got the Sixers, and I mean, like you got Boston there, you got the Heat. I mean, all those guys have great teams. With obviously the Bucks with Giannis, and they just added Drew Holiday there. So I mean, and then you got, let's not forget Brooklyn. I mean, yeah, Brooklyn, yeah. So
yeah,
I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's a stacked Eastern
right,
Conference right there. Like you compare that to the Western Conference, it's not that far off, honestly. I'll probably put it about the same level.
right. When it comes to coaching, even like say
Hmm.
the coach, like the coaching, even like the coaching aspect, the East got
Hmm.
better coaching
Hmm.
in the West right now.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
I mean, like when it comes to like this like it's. I mean, like I said, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it's not. It's going to be very. It's going to be very, very competitive because you can legit
very.
have like four. You got five teams that can legit go to the finals.
Facts.
Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Sixers, and you can throw Miami.
And that's a lot of teams, brother. Who do you guys have winning? I mean, not winning. Who do you guys got your preseason final matchup? For me, I know Boston may win the East, but I want to go with Brooklyn. I just want to see Kyrie, KD versus LeBron or something. Brooklyn Nets. That's for me. What about you, Carl? All right,
Okay.
True the King. What do you think?
Who gonna come out the East?
Yeah.
I mean, like I think Boston honestly, because I feel not just being biased. I'm a Boston fan, but it's just the fact. Like I just feel this is going. I mean, thing about the Celtics is if you notice in the Brad Stevens era, that the Celtics have overachieved a lot. Nobody expect them to be this successful in the rebuild. But everybody thought like for the most part, like when that trade happened with Paul Pierce and all that stuff, people thought we were gonna be like it's gonna take us a while to get back to where we at now. But it was soon. But I mean, hey, I mean, I've been surprised these last couple years. To tell you the truth, the growth of like the Jalen Browns and the Jason Tatum's. So
Mm.
and Brad Stevens didn't surprise me as a coach. Like he was. I mean, I remember people were saying like, oh, he's what Brad Stevens. He's gonna replace Doc Rivers, and like he. The crazy thing about that, he's been since Brad Stevens been in the league, he's been more successful than Doc.
So True to King, you have Lakers versus Celtics. Is that what you predicted?
Yeah, so yep, it has to go down. It has to
Mm-hmm.
go down. Road to 18. They trying to like
Yeah, my prediction
who gonna break that tie? Who gonna break that tiebreaker?
Yeah, we'll see. My prediction personally, I think it's gonna be the Bucks versus Lakers. The reason why I said the Bucks is just because they had the best defense last year, and then you added Drew Holiday to that. That's crazy. And then I
Yeah.
feel like they got a tad bit deeper. But we're adding Bobby Portis, we're adding DJ Augustine. You added Bryn Forbes, another shooter, and you still got Pat Connaughton. That's tough.
Yeah, they got the dude Craig. They do Craig from Denver.
And they got
Like,
Torrey Craig too. That's
yeah.
tough.
The only thing, like, to be honest with you, the one thing though that like the question is the coaching. Is Mike Budenholzer? Because I feel like I've been saying this for a while. I think he's highly overrated, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you are great in the regular season, but when in the playoff, he cannot make adjustments like that. He can't make adjustments, and he doesn't have a plan B, C, or you know what I mean. He just
Yeah,
have a plan
I
A.
agree. I agree.
Because, like, mind you, remember when Johns got hurt last season in the playoffs? We didn't know Chris Mills can do all that. He was shooting off the dribble. He was more like, people thought he was just a catch and shoot player. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
he could create his own shot. But that's why I was like, dog. So you trying to tell he was legit was forced to play through Chris Middleton. It's like why sometimes why you always gotta play through Giannis? So
yeah.
they have improved a lot. This is the best team I think Giannis ever been on the Bucks. But the question is to me is coaching. How they going to run? How they going to do like because you can't just have Giannis keep bringing the ball up and have people just build a wall. You can't do that.
I mean, I don't think you do that. With Drew Holiday, with addition Drew Holiday,
Right.
I don't think you're gonna see that as much.
Yeah.
That's why I'm high on them.
Well, hopefully we don't, because like that. I mean, I'm sick of time people saying, "Oh, Giannis needs a jumper." Like, though he's a 6'11" power. He's a traditional power forward.
He doesn't need a crazy jumper. He just needs to stop catching the ball at the top of the key and trying to create for himself.
Yeah, and for his position, he's a solid, decent enough shooter anyway. For his position,
I mean, he's not a terrible shooter, but when you're standing at the top of the key, you can't do that, man. It's just
right. You can't do it. Like that's why like Mike Budenholzer needs to put him closer to make plays for him, pick and rolls, and make him closer to attack the basket. That's what his strength is attacking the basket and being a slasher. You can't have this man just bring the ball up and have people just waiting to build a wall up on him. Have him put him in some post situations so he can face up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he need a great post game or whatever. That would help. But if he can add this stuff where he can put plays, he can get to the basket, that's gonna be a tough team to beat. Period. I mean,
But brother, it's up to Giannis. Giannis needs advance his shooting. If he doesn't do that, the Bucks won't go anywhere.
But here's the thing. But now, I mean, I understand that, and that would of course that would help. But now it's like you asking Giannis to do like a lot too much now, because Giannis already like everybody can't be perfect. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel though it's about like you gotta utilize more of his strengths more than his like flaws, whatever. Because like if you shoot, I would rather have John shoot the ball all day than besides get to the room. You know what I mean? I don't care if he gotten better or not because he has improved on his jump shot. But at the same time, it's like, listen, you can shoot all day.
I think
Like I'd rather have Giannis beat him with a jumper than go to the rim and get dog dunks and layups.
I think Giannis. My problem with Giannis and his shooting is that he's not a horrible rhythm shooter, but his catch and shoot shooting is horrible. Like he needs to get better with that if he wants to play
Yeah,
alongside Drew Holiday and all those and and
yeah.
have
But
him
I
play
just
neck and guard.
yeah,
I think he needs to get his catch and
yeah,
shooting better. His catch and shoot shooting better.
yeah. But I just feel that I mean, all I think they need to do to be like where they need to be is just have him get close to the basket as much as possible. Because like somebody like Giannis is like somebody him going to the room, he's unstoppable. Like like
Yeah, I just have this feeling that the Bucks are going to make the finals, and then you know they're going to then they're not gonna make. I mean, they're gonna make the conference finals, but they won't get to the finals and play a contender like the Lakers or the Clippers. I don't think they'll be able to do it. I just have a feeling that they won't be able to do that because it's just I mean, I've seen it like for the past 2 seasons. I've seen them like make it so close, and then they always fold. Like no matter how many players, I think the only no matter how many players they add, I feel like they'll always get to the same spot,
Mm.
which is the conference finals. I think the only way they can actually, you know, just like resolve this is either they add another superstar that can, you know, partner up with Giannis, and I think that will be the only solutions because let's be honest, Drew Holiday is a great player, but he's not a superstar, and he'll the Bucks need a superstar right now in order to win the championship, and that's the same thing I would say with the Miami Heat. As much as Jimmy Butler and those guys are good, I don't think that they're able to win the championship. They'll only be able to win the championship if they meet a team like Denver in the finals. But if they meet a team like the Clippers, for example, or the Lakers, they're not going to win the championship. And I think that's the same position that the Bucks are in right now.
Yes, brother, we can't overlook the Miami Heat, but this year, since the East is a lot better than what it was
Yeah,
last year, I don't see the
yeah.
Heat coming out the East. I don't see Boston or the Nets folding to the Miami Heat.
I just think with the Miami Heat,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have trouble making the jump, just because I think they're expecting Tyler Hero to make a huge jump. I don't really see it. I think teams saw what the Lakers did to him in the finals, and they're gonna try to take advantage of his poor defense. Like the Lakers just abused him that whole finals on defense. I think Tyler Hero he's a solid player, but I just don't think he's gonna be that. He's capable of being that player that they need to get them to make a championship run. I just don't think he can make that kind of jump yet.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with with the Bucks. But who is the sleeper team in the East and for the West? I want to hear the sleeper team. What do you think? You think?
Hmm.
Yeah, no. What do you think, Carl? Sleeper team East and West.
Uh, I think. I would say they're a sleeper team. I would say the Washington Wizards. The reason why I say they're a sleeper team because I feel like people are they're underestimating what they can do. Um, I feel like if Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal can play like they did last year, when they were at their best, they have a chance to be a very dangerous team. Because and you still got a lot of young talent on that team. You got Rui Hachimura who's progressing. You got a steal and Denny Avdia. And you also have Ish Smith off the bench. You have Bartons off the bench, and you have Thomas Bryant. You know, they have a solid squad, man, and I can see them getting farther than what people think they will get.
Yeah, sleeper team for me, honestly, in the East, that would be the. I, I'm very tempted to say another team, but probably the Hornets for me because of Lamelo. I think the fact that they paired him with Gordon Hayward and you have other guys like Devontae Graham. I mean, that team is going to surprise a lot of people. Like yes, they might not make the playoffs, but let's not be surprised if they make the playoffs. Like that team is gonna, they're gonna get the playoffs. Now, a team that I think may win the championship that maybe not a lot of people have on their books. I will watch out for the 76ers. I want to see what they do. I think time and time again they've gotten close to the finals and they haven't won. But I think this year they added Doc Rivers as a coach. I think changing the coach, having a different personnel on the team creates a big difference. Um, Brett Brown wasn't the coach that I feel like the high level coach that I feel like big superstars like Embiid and Simmons need. They need a guy like Doc Rivers that knows how to handle big super personalities. He did that. He has experience with guys like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, CP3. He's coached a lot of, big personalities. So I think that he's definitely the right coach to lead that 76ers team, possibly to the finals. I won't be mad if they don't win, but that's definitely a team I'll watch out for.
For me, I'm not trying to be biased, but for the East, I got the Charlotte Hornets. I really like their roster. They're a gritty team. Um, Charlotte had a last place roster last year, won 20 plus games. That roster should have won at least 15. So what it tells me is that they play with a lot of effort and they play like the eastern version of Memphis Grizzlies. They're gritty, they dive for loose balls, they rebound, they're tough. I like their roster. The addition to Gordon Hayward, um, Vontae Graham, who made 200 plus threes. He's a sharpshooter. Uh, you got PJ Washington, a young big man that was first team, second team, all rookie team. Averaged 13 and 7. Got Terry Rozier, and I didn't even get to LaMelo Ball. That should have been the first
You
name I
didn't get
should
to
have
Miles
said.
Bridges either. You got
Yeah,
Miles
Miles
Bridges.
Bridges. I
Yeah.
mean, they drafted Vernon Carey, who lost a lot of weight, and they said he's tearing it up in camp. Nick Richards, they drafted. This team has a lot of depth, man. And then for the West, I have uh, the Denver Nuggets. You can't go wrong with saying the Denver Nuggets. They're loaded. Uh, I mean, you saw what they did playing the Lakers. Yes, they didn't win versus the Lakers, but they showed something. They're in the Western Conference. Blue Bolt says sleeper East Wizards. I wouldn't be surprised by the Wizards either if Brody, aka Russell Westbrook, and Bradley Beal can find a way to coexist, to play as one. They could be a very dangerous team. It's up to them. A sleeper team in the West, Grizzlies. Uh, I just can't put the Grizzlies over what the Nuggets could be. Uh, but you can't go wrong with John Morant. John Morant, Jared Jackson Jr. They have a solid core. They had a great offseason. They surrounded them with shooters. They got Desmond Bain in the draft, which was a steal. And the Lakers should have drafted Desmond Bain. I don't know why they trade out of that slot, but that's another topic for a different day. Um, but yeah, the NBA season is here. I'm excited. Um, I hope our boy LiAngelo Ball gets minutes, but if he doesn't, hey, it's not Dwayne Casey's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. Uh, his team, his agent, they did what they had to do. They got LiAngelo Ball in training camp. They got his foot in the door. Everything else is for LiAngelo Ball to earn on his own. If he gets minutes in preseason and makes the roster, then he's earned it. But if he doesn't make the roster and doesn't play that much preseason, then he's earned that as well. So we got to be consistent. We can't just keep, making up stuff. Carl, what do you thought of what I just stated? You there, Carl? Until he comes back, I'm gonna ask more questions. Let's see. Blue Bolt says Bucks should have traded for Westbrook. No, that's not a fit. But I see what you're saying. It's just not a fit. You gotta have shooters. Westbrook is not a great shooter. He's aggressive. He's a dog, but he's just not a great shooter. We got Devin Fuller in the chat, man. What's up, bro?
Man, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, good, man. What you think about this NBA preseason?
Man, I'm excited to watch the Pelicans, the Hornets, and I want to see what Jello does on the floor this year. Man, I really want him to make the team.
Yeah, we all do, brother. What do you think LiAngelo Ball has to do to make that Pistons roster?
For starters, I think he needs to get a lot. If he gets a lot of minutes today, I feel like that's a good step forward in the right direction. So it's up to him to produce the results.
J Boy says, "What's your opinion on the clip of Drew playing defense on Giannis?" Well, we all know that Drew Holiday is an excellent defender, and I know a lot of Pelican fans are mad that they traded Drew, but Drew Holiday has a big contract. The Pelicans were playing Drew like he was a superstar, and what Drew is not a superstar. He's a great utility player. He knows his role. He's not a superstar, but he's a good player, and he should fit to what the Bucks are doing or trying to do. Uh, People forget the Pelicans got a lot of players they got to pay. They just paid Bi a big contract. When Zion gets done with his rookie contract, they got to pay him, and you got to play your role players. You got to play your Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball if you're trying to keep him, of course. So it wasn't an easy decision, but it was a decision that needed to be made. Let's see. Shango 2 says, as a Laker fan, the only team I worry about is the Nuggets. If they let Bobo play it out, it's a nightmare matchup. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I still would say don't sleep on the Clippers. The Clippers have a disdain for the Lakers. They literally built their team to beat the Lakers. And that's why they had a winning record over the Lakers. I know the Lakers won a championship and they can easily feel, very confident that they're not worried about the Clippers. But the Clippers did have a winning record over them. And that should mean something. What do you think about that, Devin Fuller?
I still think the Lakers are superior to the Clippers, man. I feel like if we would have
Oh,
met them I feel like if we would have met them in the playoffs, we would have beat them like 6 games, I believe.
yeah, those things are true. But I'm saying that it wouldn't be an easy matchup at all.
No, all games would be close, but I feel like AD would have put the nail in the coffin.
Oh, yeah, he would. There's not a matchup for AD. Rich Sways says, I think Jello can make the team if he focuses on playing defense in his first preseason game to set the tone. That is true. What have I been saying the whole time? Angelo Ball has to have an identity of a grinder, someone who hustles on the court, someone who gets tough rebound, boxes the person out, and makes the open three. That's all he has to do. And other Shines are mad when I said I compared him to PJ Tucker of a player he could be, but he should take that as a badge of honor because PJ Tucker found a way to last in the NBA. And Jello would be smart to take that on.
Yeah.
DJ.
Yeah. Oh.
What's up?
If you don't mind, I change the subject. I want to talk about Pelicans. Didn't they have a chance to pick up Bobo and Cam Reddish with Zion in that draft?
Yeah, they failed to do that and they passed on 2 players. That was a horrible GM job. Horrible job. DZ King, what do you think about the Pelicans not being able to take on talent? They passed on Cam Reddish. They passed on Bobo in that Zion draft.
Man, that was a foul. That was a disgrace right there. Because I mean, like it just I can imagine if they picked up Cam Reddish and Bobo. I mean, probably the whole season would have definitely been different. I mean, like the Pelicans had a lot of role players, like Etuan Moore and Jaleel Okafor, who couldn't defend or shoot for a lick. So, I mean, and I know what you think about those players, and I totally feel the same way too. So the fact that they didn't pick up two talented draft picks that could have definitely changed that team immensely. It's just it's crazy. I still can't believe it. And a lot of teams are going to regret, including the Pelicans, for not picking up Ball. Denver are the guys that are actually reaping off the benefits of having this guy. This guy is going to be a walk. He's a walking bucket, and the guy's got height. He's got everything. He can defend. He can do everything. And I just think that you just give him a few more years, or just hopefully this season he can break out. But I think that he just needs to grow up in his man body. I still think he needs to pick up some weight, and now possibly so that he can avoid these injuries, because we know players that tall, with that height, like a Joel Embiid, they have a history of it's easier to actually to get injured with that height. So I think as long as he can avoid the injuries, he's going to be a great player in this league. But you know, I feel like, man, that would have been a great pickup, and the Pelicans just missed up on that. Imagine Zion, Ingram, Ball, Lonzo, like
Oh
that's a
man,
stacked team.
man.
Cam Reddish and
So
Ingram would have been like Kawhi and Paul George to me, like a
For
young.
real.
man.
For real,
And Lonzo has the worst of luck. These are two teams. Lakers, when they started out with
yeah,
Lonzo, and the Pelicans failed to build around Lonzo. That would have been the perfect team for Lonzo. Stats galore, everybody running and gunning,
right.
athletes everywhere, but they want to draft more guards than your mama, and it's crazy. It's like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to have this identity?
Yeah.
I don't know what the Pelicans are.
Yeah, I would think that a guy like David Griffin will have a more of an idea of what to do, but so far, honestly, he's been the coolest on a lot of things. I mean, the only great thing he did, obviously, was trade Anthony Davis for Brendan
I have
Ingram
this identity.
and Zoe and Josh
Yeah,
Hart,
I don't know
but that
what.
was a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer. Because there's no way you're going to trade Anthony Davis and then you're not going to take the best players, your best young players from the Lakers. Like, there's no way you're going to make that deal. So that was a no brainer. But everything outside of that, apart from picking up Steven Adams and those guys, I mean, that team was full of guards. I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, I don't think picking up Kira Lewis was the best decision. Like, I still think that they need to go for other. They need to fill out the other positions that they need on the team. Honestly,
And we got our boy Shanker in the building, man. What you think
boy.
about the Pelicans failing to build around Lonzo and Brandon Ingram? They could have had Cam Reddish and Bobo in the 2019 draft with Zion. Uh, they failed them to build talent.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
All right. I agree with what you guys are saying. The only problem that I have with that is that coach, Alvin Gentry, for how he played Lonzo or how he played Zion and how restrictive they were with the minutes, I just worry that a lot of the young guys might not have got the time on the court that they should have. He had a lot of Luke Walton in that system where they were, hesitant to play younger players and more amped to play the old veterans, and that didn't get them anywhere. So I think it did take I think they blew it on that draft, on that. But with the right coaches, like a Hornets, coaching staff, they would have knew what to do with those young players and put them together right. I just don't think they had the right coach for that talent.
Exactly,
I forgot
man.
about Gentry. Yeah.
Luke Jr.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's Luke's grandfather right there.
Oh man, giving everybody minutes, man. Spreading the minutes.
Yeah, you
If
I'm
can't.
not
tell
gonna
you,
see Frank Jackson this year, man.
oh, he's
Well,
not on the team.
Oh, he's not on the team.
Yeah,
no,
Frank Jackson's not on the team.
What
Stan Van
about
Gundy got all the ball hogs out the team.
Williams, Kenrich Williams?
he's gone too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, we're in the right direction then.
Jalil Sloopfoot Okafor is out the team, so you don't have to worry
Oh
about
God.
his bad defense. And
See,
I was telling,
Think about
oh,
him.
sorry,
I actually like. Yeah, sorry, but think about him. I actually liked him in college. Like he was a beast in college, but man, he let me down when he got to the league.
oh yeah, he did, man. And Stan's letting people know he will not put people who are just worried about getting theirs on this team. Etwan Moore's not on this team. He's with the Suns now. And the only person that is what you call a ball hog or a semi-ball hog is Nikhil Alexander Walker, but he's more balanced with it. Like you could deal with him. You just got to tell him to tone it down. You know, there's not a shot that doesn't like.
Oh, that first
Maybe.
game was atrocious. He was
Oh
taking
yeah,
every shot against Toronto.
that's not gonna work. That's not gonna fly by Coach Van Gundy. He's not gonna play that. But for Lonzo last year, and tell me if I'm wrong, he had to play so much help defense when Lonzo was with the Lakers. He could just play man to man and not worry about trying to help this person out and that person out. With this team, a lot of players just don't want to play defense. And
You know what's crazy?
crazy. What's up?
Before Lonzo got drafted, he was rated as a terrible defender coming into the draft,
True.
and now people are saying he's an elite defender. That's crazy how the tables have turned after that.
That's why I think people should stop, expecting LaMelo to be a bad defender, because LaMelo's had to defend against his brothers and bigger players his whole life. I mean, he didn't just, play basketball without having some kind of defensive skills. And when you're that long and he's got side to side mobility, there's going to be a lot more problems for guards to get around him than they think. And I think he always picks the ball. He's got a great eye for the ball, just like Lonzo does. So that to me is where people are going to flip that narrative. He's not being a defensive player.
Oh yeah. What I've been hearing about LaMelo Ball and his defense right now is just normal, which is great. But they say that LaMelo has talent that potentially, because he has long arms and quick action with his hands, just like Lonzo.
Right.
That's why I tell people stop projecting so early on these players, especially young players. LaMelo is the third youngest player in the NBA. You got to give him time. And the other two that are ahead of him, they're close in age. It's like they're only like a couple days younger than LaMelo. So it's pretty close with the top youngest players in the NBA. But you got to give these young players a chance, man. You got to let them grow and blossom. And that's why I don't listen to too much ESPN, Fox Sports 1, because it's all scripted, it's all played out, and they're just trying to sell a story. They don't want to break down what a athlete has to do to accelerate his game.
Yep. I think the majority of the greatest players that came to the NBA didn't come with a fantastic defensive package. A lot of what made them attractive is because of their offense. So defense is something that to me is learned too in the NBA. I mean, Kobe, he got in at 18 and he couldn't play defense at all, and he still ended up one of the best ever. So I think it's just a matter of time. They got to let players, which we don't do a lot of, let these young players get a year or two under their belt, to learn how to play defense in the NBA. It's still, defense is different in college than it is in the NBA, so there's still a lot of transition that has to happen that I guess the NBA doesn't give us time right now to let players develop that.
Yeah.
Hey, CA, I want you to answer this. If you're there, are you there, CA?
Yep. What's up?
How many minutes do you think Lonzo's going to have this year? You think he's going to have 35 plus minutes, or you think it's going to be like mid-30s, low 30s?
I would say mid-30s, because you got to consider all those, because
Van Gundy, he likes to play players a lot of minutes, but he also likes to use veteran guys a lot. And they have Eric Bledsoe and George Hill on that team. So yeah, I think he's probably gonna play mid-30s. I don't think that he's gonna play 35 plus because they've got so many veteran. They got 2 other veteran point guards on the team. So yeah, that's what I say.
Here's my thing with Lonzo.
Yeah,
Not just the minutes. He could play low 30 minutes, but you better give him a higher usage rate. My thing is with the usage.
Yeah, I mean, I think he needs a higher usage rate, and that's partly because of Lonzo too. Lonzo needs to be more aggressive as well. He needs to be more aggressive and take it to the basket.
Exactly. Somebody got a dog, man. Somebody got a sound like a dog.
It's my dog, man. He wild,
man. Give him the DMX vibes.
Rondo having Steven Adams too.
Yep.
I think playing Lonzo 35 plus minutes this year is going to be great for him. I'll encourage Tim and Gundy to do that, because Lonzo needs those minutes. He needs to feel like he's the main guy, and he can get better. I mean, the more games he plays, the better he gets. So, he needs to show that he's deserving of that spot. So, honestly, he needs to have that opportunity to play 35 minutes, each game, more than 35 minutes each game, or 35 minutes, it doesn't matter. But I will say, because the other coaches like Luke Walton, Alvin Gentry kept on pulling him out, put him in, and everything, and that does not help your game. If you're saying that this is your starting point guard, what are you doing?
His confidence.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You need to give him that opportunity. So, you need to have confidence in him.
I feel like that's been the biggest problem with Lonzo's career because, and all the systems he's played in so far, he's either Lonzo's either seeing, he's either been seeing more trust, and then like that next minute he's getting that trust taken away from him. He's never seen consistency in his usage. So I think that's really messed with Lonzo's confidence. I think that's why we've seen such up and down production. We never really see anything consistent because Lonzo's never been in a consistent situation. I think that's probably the reason why.
Man, we got Rap God who's guaranteeing that Stan Van Gundy will give Zoe 35 over 35 minutes. We'll see, man. But if Lonzo just aggressive on offense, attacking the basket like we've been saying, being creative on the dribble, and stop, just settling for what the teammates ask for, having them in the corner. If he stops all that, then he will get around mid 35 minutes a game. If he just does that. Because Stan Van Gundy will trust him and say, hey, he's being aggressive. I got to keep him in.
The only thing I'm scared of though is Steven Adams probably is the best screen setter in the NBA in my eyes. That he's gonna fall in love with giving him the ball after every pick and roll because he's knocking that dude on the floor 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that could happen, man. You know how old school coaches.
Yeah. I want Lonzo to score off that pick and roll. I don't want him to always think pass.
Mm-hmm. Bros, don't y'all get mad when Lonzo is on the pick and roll, right? He has an open lane. Teams are giving him the lane, but he's passing it out of that.
I hate that.
Pisses me off.
I mean, most of the time he gets the assist. That's cool and all, but man, I'm just tired. It's really a rough time to be a Lonzo fan because
man,
he can be averaging so many points if he just drove to the basket. No two-handed layups, just slam that thing.
You're like, man, Lonzo, what are you doing? Dunk that shit, man. Dunk it.
I get tired of Lonzo in them weak layups, man. Like, it irritates me, man. He's got the size, just go up strong.
Right. I'm okay with the layups. It's just when you got to open lane, you got to dunk.
Nah, man, you can't be okay with the layups. That dude be missing layups. You could take a toddler out there and he can make a better layup than that. Like, there's no reason for it. I think Lonzo lacked so much confidence in his body. That dude was in pain, man. You could tell that he just wasn't right. And I think now that we're gonna see a different Lonzo, I believe. I mean, he finally gonna get back to his original self with his body being strong and a whole off season. I mean, because a layup package ain't nothing really that difficult to develop and work on with the shooting coaches that he was working with in the off season. That's pretty easy. I think the concentration on the 3-point shot took away from the rest of his game. You know, he needed to develop from the inside out, and he went from out to the in. You know, that's
sure.
what really it's hard to transfer over when you do that, because you look at your free throws are way off, but yet your 3-point shot is going up. So that tells you where your focus has been. You go back to working on the inside game, layup package to the free throw line, to the corner elbow, out to the 3-point, and his shot will be better. So I think that's what he did with those shooting coaches like Chris Stoops and even working with JJ. They know how to get him right. I think his body allowed him to get that this season.
Yeah, one thing I respect about LaMelo is, for some reason, I seen this in the NBL. Let's say they was playing like Perth or one of those top teams, and LaMelo's just getting hounded on defense. They get the hand check over there, and then in the second half, he flips that switch, just goes ballistic, and that's what Lonzo needs to have. When the defense is giving you an open lane because they know you're gonna pass it out, you gotta dunk on someone. They're playing soft coverage on you. What he likes to do, he wants to shoot threes because he likes doing that. And I remember my boy 313. Shout out to 313. That's my boy. TA, you know him.
Shout out to him for real.
Yeah, we had a disagreement. He said that the reason why Lonzo Ball is not making he's a perimeter point guard. He just likes to shoot. I said there's no such thing as a perimeter point guard. There's a combo guard.
I disagree with that. Yeah, I disagree with
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I think the main thing with Zoe though is his confidence. I feel like he had a lot of the things that we say we want him to do. He already had it in his game from Chino Hills to UCLA. Like, we saw him do those things. I just think that's the confidence. I don't know what happened, whether it's just going to the NBA or the pressure that got to him in the first season, but I feel like that confidence wasn't there. We know he's got a game. We know he's got all those skills that we want him to have. It's just that the confidence just wasn't there, and it took him time to kind of get back to his normal self. And I feel like this season, as long as I think this season we're going to see that full, that full transformation. And we know we know that he can play the game of basketball, but I just think the main issue with Lonzo was just his confidence.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let me ask you.
Remember that.
Hey DJ, let me ask you a question, man. What do you think? What do you think of Kuzma? Where would you place him at?
Kuzma's a solid role player, and I know he could average more points if he was on a different team, but he won't get that bag unless he leave LA. And LeBron James is trying to support him and say, hey, Kuzma's going to be the one breaking out, for most improved. I disagree with LeBron. Unless Kuzma starts, none of us sees Kuzma starting. The Lakers are loaded. They're loaded, man. Kuzma needs to go to a different team to get that bag. I've been saying that now. I grew up a Laker fan. I root for the Lakers, even though some of the players are not like my type of players. I still root for them. I'm glad they're doing well. But as a man that's being real, Kuzma need to get that bag. He need to go to a team where he can get his stats to get that money. He already got a ring. Here's the thing: when you already got that ring, you got to get that bling. You got to get that money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he would look good in Utah. I think that's where he wants to be. That's where he feels he's got a relationship with Mitchell. That might work for him.
Yeah. Or
I think Utah's a good place because I feel like Utah they lack depth. They lack depth.
Or Sacramento, because I know him and Luke Walton got a great relationship also. So, I mean,
he went to college in Utah too.
Yeah,
he did go to college in Utah.
Yeah, but he gonna get bagged though, because I mean, even like I said, like his numbers don't he's not gonna get the same productivity because he's playing behind LeBron and AD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like he's a forward. He's not going to get that same opportunities when it comes to usage and all that. But
Yeah.
he's still that same player though. It just his role just diminished. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. But
Yeah.
I gotta catch y'all later though. I gotta go back to school. Just my last period of school. But I'll catch y'all later, man. Salute to y'all brothers.
RC3, man.
Man, I like today's show, man. I mean, we may not have 100+ views like yesterday, but this is a genuine conversation. It's all about hoops, and we're not just talking about one subject. So I definitely like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for real. Like,
Yeah.
I think just to go back on your Kuzma point, DJ, I think like I may have issues with the way he's handled a lot of criticisms, especially with his position on the team, and obviously with the way he's treated Lonzo, and I don't get a lot of loyalty vibes from Kuzma, but I think at the end of the day, I want what's best with the brother. I think he can be a good player, serviceable player in the NBA. I mean, if he wants to be the superstar that he thinks he can be, I think he needs to move to a team like, say, Utah, a team that, that is probably like in the middle of the Western Conference, maybe like number 5 position, number 6, fighting between 6 and 5. And I think that he has a lot of potential to become a good player in this NBA. I think we want to see the Kuzma from the first season with Lonzo. But guess what? I think the moment that Lonzo left, Kuzma has become a very different player.
And DZ, I know you're not trying to say that Lonzo made him who he was, but what you're saying is he need to go to a team that has a facilitating point guard that knows how to get him the ball in different spaces. And if he does that, he could be a better player. That's why
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
agree with you.
It's, I just honestly think it's like I don't think that's it. I just think his role is diminished because it's like he played with Rondo and LeBron James, so it's like
I
he
will
just
say that,
don't have that
DJ.
same opportunities, huh?
I'll say that Lonzo made him who he was, straight up.
I can't say that because he was Florida. Because I can't say that because he had like when you playing with somebody like LeBron James and Rondo, you're going to have your opportunity to get open shots, and he is a guy that's known for when he touched the ball, boom, he don't waste no time to score. So I mean, I just feel that his role is diminished. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I don't think it's just. I mean, he just need a bigger role to show.
You know what, True the King? You're right. Both things are true, actually. That's why I said whatever team Kuzma goes to, he got to have a facilitating point guard. If he goes to a team with got a bunch of scorers and stuff, he's not going to get the best Kuzma.
Right.
You think the Pistons would be a good fit for him?
Could be. They got TJ. Well, if you want to be you want to be like a 6-man, but I mean, if you want to cause they already got TJ Warren.
Him for Blake
I
Griffin?
don't know. I think Kuz's kind of better than TJ Warren. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I mean, I think that most Kyle Kuzma could be in this league is a borderline all-star. Not saying, I mean, which is still solid. He may not be a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? We don't know. But I mean, I don't think so. But he could be at least a borderline all-star type of player. You know what I mean? Be all-star a couple of times.
Yeah, he's definitely not that number 3 guy or number 2 guy that a lot of people thought he could be on the team with LeBron and Anthony Davis. There's no way I'll put him on that number 3 spot.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that put a lot of pressure on him, and he wanted to show that. And honestly, it just did not work out like that. Like, I think
I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree on that because, like I said, like to be fair on Kyle Kuzma, he's a power forward.
Yeah,
he can play the 3 a little bit, but he's gotten better playing the 3 defensively wise. But he needs to work on his footwork and when it comes to his playing defense. But it's just when you playing behind legit AD is LeBron at the forward position, where are you gonna have your opportunities at? You know what I mean?
Oh,
You had
yeah,
somebody playing this.
Oh yeah, I understand. I just mean like pecking order wise,
Yeah.
your third most important player on the team.
I mean, I think he could. I think he could be like. It's not a lot of like.
Uh-huh.
I think he could be a third, like a third option with like only like with 15, 18. Like, I mean, it depends with the team. I think he can do that on a third option on a great team. I can see him being a third option on a great team.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think so, but we gotta wait and see because he definitely like because I don't know which one said about questioning his loyalty, but I mean I mean he feels though he's a confident player. I mean, does he want a bigger role? Of course, but I mean the Lakers don't have no problem with Kyle Kuzma because they would have traded him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gonna wait. I mean that they know that you know what I mean. They probably have to get rid of him off of it's best for the both interests. You know what I mean to get rid of him 2021
Yeah.
for like a sign and trade situation. But because mind you, he's been there the whole time. Everybody else got traded. So I mean,
There's benefits to going to dinner with Jeannie Buss.
hey, all that
I
being
didn't
said,
say nothing.
listen,
I didn't even say nothing. I just he did go to dinner with her, right? Like,
that's true. But like I said, he
said.
did play it, but he was a role like before he did what he was asked to do for that team. He did what he was asked to do. So if that was just averaging only like 10 points a game coming off the bench and do what he had to do, played solid, decent defense at time. I mean, at times he was mishaps and stuff on defense, but still, I like the effort he was doing. I mean, hey man, I mean Lakers asked. I mean, he did his job.
Nah, he did his thing, man. But I look forward to Thornton Tucker, that rookie the Lakers have having a breakout year this year. That dude got some handles, man.
It's gonna be hard for him to have a breakout year though, because like he gonna be like he barely gonna see time though.
If he can control the ball and get his shot going, he will get time. Like he can
man.
play.
I don't know, man. You got Caruso,
That's coming
Wesley
from LeBron.
Matthews.
LeBron,
I mean, in the future, yeah, in the future, I mean, LeBron loves everybody on the Lakers. I'm not trying to be funny. He loves everybody on the Lakers, but like, I mean, Tucker's gonna be. We'll see. It's gonna be tough for him to get time though, because you got Caruso, Wesley Matthews, Dennis Schroeder.
You think Caruso should start?
You said Dennis Schroeder's going to start.
You think Caruso should?
No, I think he should come off the bench.
He come off the bench. I mean, that's his role right now. He's gonna get time. Like it ain't like he's gonna get time, solid time. You know what I mean? Do what he has to do. So it really don't mean nothing. I mean, the starting lineup going to be with Dan Schroeder, Dan Schroeder, Caldwell Pope, LeBron, AD, and Marc Gasol. That's going to be probably the potential starting lineup, most likely.
Rap guy said THT makes Kuzma expendable. Now I could have easily dissed Kuzma, but I'm not gonna disrespect Kuzma like that. I'm gonna be honest with him. He's earned his playing time. The Lakers roster is tough to crack. And I'm not trying to bring up Caruso's name because he's a bench player, but the other players, the Montrezl Harrell, the Morris twin, I mean a bunch of guards, man, a bunch of players, and it doesn't stop there. They got Schroeder and many others. This team is not going to be easy to get playing time. It's just the reality. Nothing personal. It's not going to be because of Kuzma didn't show up. I'm sure he's going to play hard. You know, you got Marc Gasol. I mean, he's
going to get decent time. He's going to get decent time. Like he got a decent time. Like he's going to get decent amount of time. Like that Laker team, it depends on the situation it's going to be. Like he's going to get decent time anyway. You know what I mean? Some line he may be a starting lineup, some maybe a few times, whatever. He's wherever. Like that's what's so great about the team. It's so versatile and it's so adaptive on what the other teams could do. You know what I mean? So that's why everybody likes to be on that team.
Don't forget Wesley Matthews.
Yeah,
another player that can contribute. It's
they
not gonna
bought.
be
Yeah,
easy, but he's gonna earn it.
Well, if the Lakers do anything like they did in the playoffs, what they're gonna do is split it up where they're gonna use certain lineups, certain players for certain teams. There might be players that don't play that game. That system worked.
and that's cool.
You
And they
know.
cool with that. And they all ball in
Yep.
that system.
When you
Looking
deep
like
enough, you got a bench like that. You can do that.
everybody's buying in the system. So it's like
Yeah.
when you have a team like that's unselfish, they don't care about playing time like that. Especially don't players on that team, you're going to
Yep.
be successful. That's why if you like, you know what I mean. And if you're not really, and if you're not really like, I don't know, man. Like that's why if you notice certain players that was on that team last year is not on that team this year. We ain't gonna say their names, but I guarantee they ain't like their roles on the team.
Johnny Marquez says, "Do you think this is LeBron's best team?" Yeah, this is clearly LeBron's best team. Even the Miami Big Three didn't have this much depth.
Yeah,
It's
that
because of
Miami team was good, but it wasn't that all-time great as people make it seem.
no, it was not. I'm glad you said that, True the King. It was top heavy with the Big Three, and everybody else just played a role, but the bench was not as deep.
Joel Anthony at center, like, come on, man. That dude was a
Oh, man.
bum. I'm sorry, man. He was a bum, man. Joel Anthony. That's how they was getting. They soak up the money so much with that big that he was so top heavy, man. You had no choice.
Yeah, you got to pay. You got to get a guy like Joel Anthony. He's a $500,000 a year guy.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Like you gotta get like when you gotta start playing something your start lineup of 500. That's when you know you're top heavy. There's no reason a dude you should make a guy. It should be a consistent starter making 500,000 on your start lineup. But this is his best. This is LeBron's best team, man. Man, I hate to say, even be like Lakers, man. They doing what they gotta do. They tied my Celtics record, man. They
Exactly.
looking good right now, man. I'm salty a little bit, but hey, I like how they. But at the same time, though, I gotta respect how they play. You know what I mean? They got chip on their shoulders. That's how I like how they won the championship last year. You know what I mean? When LeBron said, because people took what LeBron said out of context, saying, "Oh, I need to give him our damn respect," but like, no, but people going to just miss other things he said too. He said the whole team. He ain't say just him. You know what I mean? Because everybody on that team got. Because the funny thing about that championship, everybody on that team got disrespected. Everybody that was on that roster, the dude, the Deion Waiters, the J.R. Smith, the Dwight Howard, the Frank Vogel, the Jason Kidd, Rob Pelinka, the Bus family, they all got disrespected.
Yep.
And you know what I mean? That's
true.
how they won. And you can't disrespect. That's the thing. You gotta listen. Gotta give their people their proper respect.
And when they reloaded, the same guys that are on the team now are all disrespected too. So they just respected again. You know, they got another group that wants it.
Yeah,
you know,
their shoulders disrespected. They saying their shoulders not going to start. That's another example. They people saying, "Oh, he's a bench player." First of all, the only reason why he came off the bench these few years because you playing behind Chris Paul and Westbrook, two first ballot Hall of Fame point guards. What else? Like, come on. Of course he's gonna come off the bench.
True, I've been hearing disrespect to the shooter. I heard people say that Caruso was going to start over.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't like because that's why I like, and that's why I'm kind of a little bit salty because I see the same things again. Y'all being too disrespectful on this Lakers team because this is why I'm like they're gonna break the record and like I said, that's you're gonna keep because Miami. That's why I like Miami. Miami didn't disrespect them dudes because you know why Miami didn't. Miami because Miami and that Lakers team was a little bit similar because everybody stepped on Miami.
Facts.
Jimmy Butler been one of the most disrespected slept-on players in this league. You know what I mean?
Man, that's spot on, man.
So it's like when you. That's why you notice they gave him the harder fight. You know what I mean? Because the mentality, how they approach the game, is like you can't like. And that's why I also had. That's why me being a Boston fan, I have like. That's why I got my team. Because like I feel though everybody's disrespecting this. Like everybody, when you disrespect a team like that, and you just people and the other teams see in the media, and they kind of think, oh, we're just gonna beat this team. You know what I mean? Just because it don't work that way, man. Everybody had the Clippers winning the championship last year.
Yep.
I haven't had a pick. I picked the Clippers. I ain't gonna lie. I picked the Clippers. And guess what happened, man?
And it sure looked like it, man. When the Clippers was on a roll, everybody thought the Clippers was going to win it. We was like, man, they got all this defense.
Not everybody.
Well, a lot of people. Here's when I thought the Lakers could win it all. The last matchup between the Clippers and the Lakers. When AD got involved, I said the Clippers can't beat the Lakers. They can't even stop AD.
Right.
That's when I knew.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, remember, you had people really betting money against the Portland on the first round against the Lakers. You had people literally betting money.
Disrespect.
I ain't say no names, but people was betting money. And it's like, come on, man. People lost money. People legit bet money on Portland beating the Lakers last year.
Man, that's why I said like
that disrespect. That's why I was like, that's why I knew for a fact, like, okay, they most likely gonna win a championship. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, when I seen people bet money against Portland against the Lakers in the first, I'm like, all right, they won. They won.
Yeah,
like, you had some Laker fans. You had some Laker fans counting. Like, that's why I knew we seen Laker fans was counting the Lakers out and was down. That's when you knew it was like, yeah, they probably gonna win a championship. They're probably gonna win. That's all that stuff there is motivation.
Yeah, that's why I think you saw in the playoffs, man. Like, I don't know. To me, like Denver and Miami, the way they stack up, not just because of the players, but the coach and the owner. You got Pat Riley, man, or the GM, Pat Riley. Dude, he knows the Lakers organization. He knows their heartbeat. You know what I mean? And it showed. That's why he was able to take a bunch of players who shouldn't have matched up, but did. It came out of nowhere. Denver, same thing. Like Denver, man, those two teams play.
They were another disrespected team in a sense.
Exactly. That's
why you notice the conference finals, right? Look at the 4 teams in the conference finals. Nobody's saying that. Nobody had that conference finals last year. Nobody. Right. I don't care who you. Nobody predicted that. I don't care. Listen, find me a person that predicted it's gonna be Denver and Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, or they're gonna be Miami or Boston.
Yep.
And you know what? And they all, and what's the similar about those 4 teams was they're all dogs. They all was slept on. They don't listen. They're gonna play to the last second.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's. But I see. The crazy thing is, I see the same patterns again this year. The same patterns.
Yep.
Y'all keep saying like, oh, these teams are favorites. We don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, last year was definitely like, I think a lot of people, like I was one of those two, thinking that the Clippers will win, but of course the Lakers won. But I think at the end of the day, what I failed to realize last year was that the Clippers did not really have chemistry, and especially in the and there were some positions within that team that weren't competitive enough. I feel like the point guard position, you had Pat Beverly, who is probably the most overrated player and defender I've ever seen. I think that this season is going to be pretty much the same story if they don't do something about that position. I feel like they need to replace Pat Beverly with another point guard who can shoot, who can actually defend, and who's like a playmaker. I think more of a playmaker. I think Rajon Rondo would have been great in that position. I still feel like they can get a guy like Lonzo Ball, but I don't think they
can't afford. They can't. The thing about the Rondo, they couldn't afford Rondo. But like I said, I mean, be honest with you, beyond what they did this offseason, they did the best they could do this offseason. Yeah, they literally did the most they can do this offseason, to be fair for them, because they don't have the lack of assets to get, because they had Paul George. But don't be the Clippers going to fight this year. I don't got them beating the Lakers, but they're going to
Yeah.
fight. They're
They
going
will.
to give the Lakers a challenge. You know what I mean? They think
You're right.
Kawhi is held himself accountable for
Oh, yeah.
what happened last year. You see him in the press conference talking. I never even see him talk as much. In
For
I
real.
never see him talk as much when he's in the media like this.
They'll
He's more vocal now.
The
It
Clippers are
seemed like
definitely gonna fight, man. But I just think that they do overlook, just like they did last year. They already looking towards the Lakers as the one, but they gotta, man, you gotta get past the Mavericks, you gotta get past Denver, and them teams got a bone to pick with the Clippers. And see, Pat
yeah,
Bev kind of put a salt in a lot of teams' mouth
Oh,
for the
yeah.
right.
Clippers organization. So it's
Yeah,
not
but
like
but they more vocal. You got, and I understand they know, but the Clippers know all that though at the same time. I mean, they saying the Lakers now because Lakers won the championship. I mean, they know for okay, we gotta the win like they know the go like their goal is basically championship or bust, regardless. Whoever it don't matter who there, the goal is championship or bust. You know what I mean? They lost that game. It wasn't the fact they slept on Denver. It was just they got out coached, and it was just the other team had better chemistry. You
exactly.
know what I mean? And it was just like that. I don't think they really slept on anybody. But when you just play against other teams that have better chemistry, than you it's gonna be tougher.
But I think in the
You know,
finals, though, just like you said before, you guys were talking about, like a lot of it was them already looking ahead to them being the matchup against the Lakers, and everyone thought the Clippers were gonna just take it
right?
all and kind of get past these teams after Portland, Denver. I mean, the West still. We all know you're talking about Golden State, but there's still a possibility that you got Clay. I mean, you got Steph and Green, and you got
Yeah.
the Wiseman. You don't know what that's gonna look like. That gonna give. I mean, so it's not like Clippers gonna have an easy path either.
It's not gonna be easy at all. You're right. It's not
I
gonna be
think,
easy.
and they're gonna have to have that bonding in that locker room somehow to gel to the point where you got Pat Bev still there, Lou still there, and these dudes are still in the locker room. The locker room hasn't changed that much. I mean, yeah, you took out Montrez, which you could say he was part of the problem, or you say not. I mean, I don't know, but I think that that's a factor, and there's going to be still a lot of question if Ty Lue can pull them together, and because he
I
sat
think
next to Doc, he was already there last year.
Yeah, I think they're gonna improve next year. I honestly think so because they like I said they know they know where they messed up last year.
They have
Paul
to.
George, you got Paul George talking saying he gonna be back playing elite this year. I mean, they're gonna listen like that team like Pat Bev. I don't know. I mean, they made trade Pat Bev. I don't know. They got Nicholas Batum. They got Luke Kennard. They got new faces, a new breath of energy. You know what I mean? They got Serge Ibaka, another champion, another guy that experienced, and another champion in that locker room. So now you got more. You know what I mean? Now you have more experience. You added experience into that platform, more of a culture, added culture to that locker room also in the organization in Serge Ibaka. So I think it's gonna be a little bit better now. Cause mind you, like the only people that won a championship. I mean, of course you had like Jerry West, whatever, and of course like that, and then Doc and Kawhi. But now you added one person in Serge Ibaka. Cause mind you, because last year no of them players won championships besides Kawhi.
Serge Ibaka is good, man. He's a great defender, great shot blocker, but he does not the answer for Anthony Davis.
He's the best. He's better than he had last year. He's an upgrade. I'm not sure he ain't going to stop. I don't think he's going to stop Anthony Davis myself, but he's better than what they had last year. Because I tell you this, if they did would have played Lakers, that would have been a factor why they lost. Like DJ was saying earlier, like when he seen that last game in the regular season against them, AD was the key factor, and there was nobody on that Clipper team that can even. It was a mismatch.
Yeah.
At least with Serge Ibaka, it's going to help. I mean, he ain't going to shut down AD, but he's a better matchup than they had last year. Like Zubac or Montrezl Harrell or Marcus Morris, like come on, like now you got Serge Ibaka now.
Lonzo would be a great fit on the Clippers. He would be the perfect guard for them.
Yeah, the question, like I said, we'll see. We have to wait and see next year. We got to wait and see next year, or whether if they make some moves, whatever. We'll have to wait and see. because I mean they got the cap the Clippers got they over the cap, so they limited the options they can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they can
Isn't
trade Lou
long?
Williams somewhere
Yeah. It isn't Zoe.
or get rid of Pat Bev,
Isn't Zoe like a free agent next year? Restricted, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Because if he is, a lot of teams are gonna make a move for him, and I think the Clippers will be one of them. That's if they don't have a point guard by
Yeah,
then.
that's why Kawhi. That's why we know his Kawhi didn't sign his. He isn't an extension yet. He's
Yeah.
gonna probably opt. He's gonna opt out. Wait for the Clippers to make some type of moves and the cap they got, and then resign. You know what I mean? So
Facts. Yeah.
I mean they gonna. So I mean they there for the long haul, man. They signed Paul George and Kawhi said he's gonna stay there. I don't see Kawhi Leonard lying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean he's a straightforward. He's quiet, but he's really a straightforward type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Like so. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna. Lakers. I got Lakers going out the West. Still, but it's gonna be a tougher. It's gonna be a tougher time this next year, though. I understand they got better, but other teams got better also. You know what I mean? So, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tougher. I still got Lakers going, but it's still gonna be tougher. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
Absolutely,
definitely gonna
man.
be the rest of it.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting NBA year. You brothers, man, y'all made this show really good. We talked about everything on the surface, and you don't get it better than any other channel in here. Support each brother's channel. DV King, support his channel. Support True the King's channel. You know, these brothers, they're smart. They know about basketball. They don't talk just to be talking or trying to sound like a Stevie yell. Brothers, they know hoops, man.
Facts.
And that's why I always invite them on. Uh, you know, this is a no hating channel. We show love to each other. And we could disagree, just like you seen today. We could disagree and find a common ground. And that's one thing I respect.
Hey
Right.
man. Thanks,
Hey,
ZJ.
we got a Celtics fan and a Lakers fan agreeing on stuff.
Yeah, man.
You know
It's
the world's
crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy. It's like, but like I said, I have to but I'm not just a Soldiers fan. I'm a basketball fan. You know what I
Yup.
mean? I
Same
gotta
here.
keep it real on certain things. You're not going to ever see me do this. Like I'm not a Laker fan at all. I want them to lose, but at the same time, I gotta keep it real.
Exactly.
I gotta keep it real. Listen. I gotta keep it like I don't cap. Like I'm not gonna. I don't downplay. Like I don't downplay other people. I don't downplay other eras. I like the game of basketball. I can be born I can be born in the 1920s to the 80s. I'm a basketball fan. You know what I mean? I love the game of basketball. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
Like
Yeah. I agree with you, man. Now, like, because it's not easy to. It's not every day that we see people that are completely neutral in this game of basketball. You know, a lot of stands out here that don't want to admit when there's greatness, you know, within the team or a player. And I'm the same way. I've been a Lakers fan, but I'll be straight up with you if that I don't agree with you know, some things that the organization is doing right now. So, you know, I think it's better for the game if everybody has this mentality and is neutral. You know.
right.
Mhm.
You have people who just hate on other teams for no reason. For like, I'll be honest with you, like being a Celtics fan, that like I said, and I may be wrong, but I feel like the Celtics get like it's LeBron. Every team LeBron's on and like Celtics get hated on the most. Like I don't understand it. Like any team LeBron's on or just Boston, it's the most hated team. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's ridiculous, and I may understand, but I understand that hate to a degree because of the fans specifically in Boston have done in the past when racism, all that, whatever. But a lot of people don't even know that though. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Some people in this generation don't even know all this stuff, all that. So it's like it just hate this period. You know what I mean? Like people criticize me and say, "Oh, if I say like Jason Tatum maybe a top 10 player, people on my helmet." Well, I say a little thing or positive. It's like people just like, man, you yada. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, like Celtics been it's always been that way, man. Celtics is hated, man. Like LeBron, if any team LeBron on or the Celtics, man, they get hated on the most.
Nice, man.
It's ridiculous. Like that's why it's like that's why it's like it's like sometimes I'll be wanting to like, man, but I gotta be fair though. You know what I mean? I gotta be fair. You know what I mean? You have like you got people like Nick Wright on Fox Sports is be saying like, well, Jason Tatum can't win like people like that. That's another thing too. The reason why people are like that because you have people on TV on like ESPN. People watch that show every day, so they get their points from them and they
Yep.
logic. That messed the game up. Like you have Nick Wright saying, "Oh, Jason Tatum can't win a championship. You can't build a championship team around Jason Tatum." Well, like okay, well say that to the other hundreds of players in the NBA because only like 4 players in the league you can say that you can build a team around win a
Would have
championship.
been true. He never said it to Donovan Mitchell and others and De'Aaron Fox.
Exactly. That's and I
But
don't
he
know
never
and
said
like
it to Jason Tatum.
yeah, it's like I have no problem you saying that, but you gotta be consistent with what you're talking about. You can't just say that and it's like try just to point somebody like that. Because only 4 players you can build a championship around: Steph Curry, KD, Kawhi, LeBron with AD, whatever. That's more like that's a player you really can build. Only team people. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Anybody else are like, yeah, okay. People say, "Oh, Luca is better, way better than Jason Tatum." I'm gonna say, okay, that's fine and cool. But he can build a championship over Jason Tatum. I mean, like, come, what's the logic at? You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts.
Hey, I gotta say this truth, man. You hit it on the nail, man. Everyone recycles their talking points. They look at first take, and then they join these chats. Then they start saying the same thing they're saying. And people who know the game of basketball, we see all that, and we say, "Hey, wait a minute. This is something that Stephen A. Smith was saying earlier. Or this is what Nick Wright, aka Nick Long, was saying." It's all recycled. And speaking of Luca, I respect Luca's game, but sometimes I feel like he's overrated because they'll put him over Tatum and anybody else. He's a talented player, but Luca has the higher usage rate, and he gets to do whatever he wants. Well, Tatum plays with Jaylen Brown and other talented players, Marcus Smart, and Kimba. So he's not able to even have the same usage rate as Luca. See, I'm a Laker fan, and even I could admit that, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what
Yeah,
Corrupt talk about. Facts over emotions. That's what
yeah.
it's got to be.
It's gotta be facts over emotions, definitely. I mean, you have a lot of and DJ, I agree with you. A lot of these takes that guys like Stephen A. Smith, Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless is all recycled takes. Like and that's the thing. They a guy like Luca, his usage rate is very high. But yeah, sometimes I feel like they put him way like they rate this guy so much like higher than he's supposed to be. He's a great player, but like he's not on the level of, of a James Harden. Honestly, right now, I'll take James Harden, but they keep on comparing him to guys like Larry Bird. He's not Larry Bird yet, so let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes. But I think just I don't know, man. It's just the media doing what they do best, and that's just overrating players every single day and unfairly doing it actually. And when he doesn't pan out to be the player that they want to be, that when that specific player doesn't pan out to be the player that they envision him to be, then they start criticizing him and start saying he's a bust or all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And Shanker, I'm gonna give you the last words before we wrap up, man. But what you think we'll say?
One more time, you cut out there, man.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I'll say I'm gonna give you the last word, before we wrap up. But what do you think of everything that was just said?
man. I think that's. I like everybody's spot on, man. Like really, Luka to me, he's a great player. I think he's got a great future, and I think he's in the right system. That's a prime example of when you give somebody the keys and say, "Do what you want to do, develop your game, make mistakes. It's okay. You'll still play, not get benched for the whole quarter or 2 games. You can develop into a Luka." That's what they want from Tyler Hero. That we get it. We see the pattern. But to say that Luka is, I'm gonna build it. Jason Tatum, and I'm a Lakers fan, and I'm talking about I'm a Lakers fan from the Elgin Baylor, Magic Johnson. I'm history Lakers fan. That's when I was born in that era. So but with this kid from the Celtics, man, can run a team, and he is going to get there very soon. Jason Tatum is a threat to me. Like he has got so much Kobe-like skills, and I mean, I love to see his game, man. I just love watching his game. Luka's game is great, but to me, there's still some weaknesses in his game that Jason Tatum has been working on, and that's his defense. His defense to me, Luka's suspect. And it's going to be. And I think, but he's in the right system, being under Porzingis and all those. So, I mean, the NBA has a bright future with him in it. I think he's got enough skills it's entertaining to watch. But in that market that he's in, he's either going to be there for, like a Steve Nash until it runs out and he goes somewhere else and gets with a championship player, because health is going to always haunt Porzingis, even though I feel like he's one of the big men that's kind of underrated. At sometimes, but I think the future is bright with those guys, man.
Yes, it is, man. I'm gonna answer this last question from Inya Bosman. He says the Detroit Pistons G League is not in the G League bubble. Where do you see Jello if he doesn't make the roster? Well, he got a couple options. I don't think it's anything to panic. He could go to the Greensboro Storm, where it's an affiliate Charlotte Hornets. He could go with the old KC G League, where he once was last year. So he has options. It's not like it's the end of the world. It looks like he's doing well in camp, just that the Pistons roster deeper than expected. So it's not going to be easy, but I hope and pray for the brother to do well. And all he got to do is just play hard, man. Trust his game, play hard, and keep the most high in his spirits. He'll be fine. As for everyone in the chat, thank you guys for joining the show. Make sure you like and share, subscribe to the channel. All praise to the Most High, no matter what. Subscribe to Z King's channel. Shout out to Shanker. Thank you, my brothers.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Thank that. Hey, thanks DJ. Thanks Shanker. Cheers. Thanks to everyone here on the channel, and truly appreciate it.
Yes.
Take care.
All right, peace.